This is Jay Downs with Primetime Preps, and today we have Coach Lauren Ellis with the Fairview Eagles. Lauren, before we start talking about volleyball, I would really like to find out a little background history with you. So you started out with Boyd County Lions, right?
Right.
As a shortstop. Tell me a
Shortstop
little bit about that.
Right. I played for 6 years under Coach Jeff Stewart, who's their current coach right now, from shortstop from my freshman year on out.
Right.
And that's just what I knew. Softball is, the sport that I knew, and coming all the way through, it was just.
So what kind of awards did you receive? Like, did you graduate in 2006?
Yes.
Is that correct? And you were 16th Region Player of the Year, right?
I was 16th Region Player of the Year. I got to do all kinds of fun stuff when I was a senior. Player of the Year, I played as an East-West All-Star in Lexington, and then I actually got chosen to be on the Kentucky-Tennessee All-Star team, and we were the first inaugural team that got to go play that game down there. So I got to, go do that, and then later on I signed with Eastern Kentucky University, becoming the first Division I softball player in the region. So that was a lot of fun too.
Wow,
I was very blessed.
Right, and already she's already lived that life. As a high school student, you come in. This is what you want to do. You set your dreams, and you're like, this is what I want to do. Your parents are behind you and everything.
Absolutely.
And you just want to fulfill those dreams. And you're at this point right now in this interview. This is where she's at. She has hit that dreams. So tell us a little bit about Eastern. What happened at Eastern that led you to Shawnee?
Right. Well, so I went and I played the whole first year at Eastern. It was a great experience. Like you said, I have a great support system and all that. One of those people outside of Coach Stewart, and of course my parents are wonderful, was I had a grandmother, and she was just behind me through it all. And it just so happened in the year that I was at Eastern, she actually got very sick, and to the point where I needed to come home and be here. She lived in the same house as me, so that brought me back closer to home too. I went and tried out a field at Shawnee State, and they offered me that day, and it was a situation where I could actually drive back and forth and still be home with her, but still play the game.
And you felt comfortable at Shawnee, right?
Yes.
You liked everything. It was close to the house.
Yes, it was close to home, and it was still a place where I could just play. I wasn't done playing yet, but my priorities were in Ashland and not in Richmond.
Let's talk about the shift from shortstop to third base. What was that like? I mean, because it's totally different positions.
Interesting. A high school shortstop is much different than a college shortstop, and basically I didn't have the height. I had pretty good range for somebody who stands 5'5", and so in high school, Coach Stewart had all the confidence in me, and I was raised as a shortstop, and my dad taught me how to play shortstop, and that's how I was. But in college, they really needed me to move to the corner. The college shortstops stand about 5'8", and they have outstanding range, but I still had really good hands as an infielder. So they said, hey, why don't we move you over the corner? And so I started every game at third base for Shawnee State in the corner.
Right, they call it the hot corner.
The hot corner, I can testify to that.
Right. And did you get shotgun a lot?
Oh my gosh, yeah, you wouldn't even know. I couldn't even, sometimes it's just you got the ball, you don't even know how it got there. You're just like...
Those right-handers, you're turned on it very quick.
Reflexes.
Right, and there's been several people, go from shortstop to third base, and
right.
I think of Alex Rodriguez, the first player,
right.
But I read your stats and stuff, and said you had 6 stolen bases. I would love to have video clip of that. I would love to see that.
Who knows what they came out of.
Let's hope they were pass balls.
Let's hope they were, because I could run pretty good for my size, but so I probably just lucked out or something.
Right.
But I was known to hit for power, and
like 6 jacks.
Yes, I was known. I think I'm actually thinking back. I'm old now, but I think I led the team in several offensive categories. But I just like to stand up there and just jack one, and then I didn't have to run as fast.
Speaking of that now, do you ever just take BP?
No, I don't. I'm retired 100%. Outside of, I am the head softball coach here, and so I hit to my team a lot. If we go out to Casey Diamond, which is where my team practices, indoor facility, I might hit off the tee some, hit around with my dad, Tony Ellis, he runs Casey Diamond out there, the softball side of it. I might hit off a tee some, but I am 100% in retirement outside of playing with my team, and got a bad arm now, so I try not to do too much with it. So. And
they take a toll on your body, definitely.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But all right, after your college career ended, talk to me about how you ended up at Fairview? I want
Okay.
to know that story.
Well, I finished with a teaching degree as a special education teacher. That was always I started as a freshman in special education, and that's where I finished. I always knew I wanted that degree, and I finished with it, and I subbed a little bit at Boyd County. I actually coached, I was the head JV coach for softball under Jeff Stewart out of Boyd County for 1 year.
Wow.
And it
What
was,
year was that, by the way?
it was, I just graduated college, so it would have been the 2010 to 2011 season. And then I got hired at Fairview for the 11-12. And so then I've been here, this is my 3rd year at Fairview. But just that summer before, Mr. McPhee called and said, hey, you want to come in and talk to us, that sort of thing. And so I was hired as a teacher first, and the softball program was open, and they needed somebody. And so we talked about doing both things, about me taking the softball program first, and volleyball came later. But I took the teaching position. Like I said, I'm starting my 3rd year as a special ed teacher at the middle school, and it's been the best decision I've ever made.
Right.
So I'm a true Eagle through and through.
This story is good. It seems like it gets better and better. So you found the perfect job, and then they
Perfect
asked
job.
you. I bet your eyes got real big when they said the softball program's open. Lauren, would you like to do that?
Absolutely, because that's my love.
Right,
That's what I do. It's what the only thing that I've known my whole life. Since I was 6 years old, playing with my dad in the yard, and I grew up knowing it. I knew that I could coach. I coached summer ball for about 3 seasons. Then I coached under Jeff Stewart, who's
Right, the best,
great.
pretty much.
Yeah, he all kinds of wins, and and I also got to play under him. And then of course my dad is a big coach, and that's just what he knows. And so it was just so much fun to have my own program.
Right.
All of a sudden I thought, oh my gosh, I'm 23 years
Right.
old. I'm just a kid. I knew that I was going to be coaching with all these old men. I thought, what am I going to, how am I going to get these girls? But I could have never imagined how wonderful that it would be. And they listen to me. They just
There's a
check
lot of
everything.
respect involved.
Yes.
I've noticed that.
Yes.
Like I see it,
And I think it's different when they know that you've been there, you've done that.
Yeah.
I've taken the losses. I've won, Boyd County. In the time I was there, we had 6 district team championships. I have under Coach Stewart. So I've been the winner. I've been the loser. I've been I've taken the beatings, and
you
we had to do
right,
that.
Right, and you can when you take that loss,
Yeah.
and you look back on your team,
Yeah.
and say, guys, I've
Yeah.
been there. You could actually back
I
that
could
up.
teach them how to deal with it. My first season here, we had 2 wins. We were babies. We were young. We were learning together. I had to teach them how to play the game right, because they didn't know. They could catch a ball just fine. They didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
So I had to teach them the strategy, that softball wasn't about catch it, throw it somewhere, try to hit it like as hard as you can. They didn't know the strategy behind
Yeah.
it. Once we got that, we came back, a counter punch. The next season was 17 wins. So first season 2
Wow.
wins, second season 17, and in going into my 3rd season, we're hoping to have
More
than that.
You all had a pretty good season this last season,
yeah,
right?
we were 17
yeah.
and 15.
Yeah, wow.
17 and 15, but the difference is they all matured. I didn't lose anybody. They all matured in a year, and they learned how to play.
Right.
They learned the strategy. They learned that the decisions I make, whether I'm calling offense or I'm calling defense, is for a reason. They knew where the play was.
Wow.
They knew how to play. They knew how to lay a butt down. What if we're going to move runners? If you're going to score in softball, it's not stand up there and jack
Right.
as many as you
Yeah,
can.
right.
It's to think about
Right.
how you're going to
Yeah.
do it. And now I'm full confidence that my team knows that, and that they picked up on it. So we had a rough first season. We grew from it. Second season, 17 wins.
And that's how you gain respect
Yes.
with them.
Right.
With not even the players, but the other girls that are watching them play,
Right.
and say, hey, this looks fun.
Yeah.
I would love to do this.
Right. Right.
And not change subject, but this is what we were here for, actually, to
Yes.
talk about the
Volleyball.
Fairview Eagles volleyball program.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
You're all on a roll right now, right? I mean, you all have
We're doing
gotten
great.
to that,
Yes.
that status
We're
where
doing great.
yeah.
And it was the same thing as it came up after I coached a year of softball. I taught here a year. Mr. McPhee came to me and he said, Lauren, we need a volleyball coach. Will you be willing to take him? And I said, sure, coach. I don't know anything about volleyball, and I don't keep that a secret. I didn't know anything. So what I did was I took them and I went to the books and I studied it and I talked to coaches. I watched camps. I watched videos. I learned it. I made myself a student of the game. My first year, we had 7 wins, I believe. They played okay. We put 6 on the floor. We kept in the air. This year, Fairview looks totally different. We have our rotations. We have our libero, we have our people working together. They know what their job is. You know, it's no longer 6 on the floor and play. We learned how to play right. We're off to a great start, sitting at 6-4, in my prediction, several more wins to come. It's still really early. We're sitting at 5 weeks of season left.
Wow. And so, answer me a question. What did it feel like towards you when you beat Boyd County?
Oh my gosh, that's always fun. It's just kind of a healthy, it's a good rivalry for me. Even though Fairview and Boyd County aren't always the biggest rivals, Fairview has Raceland and has other teams that we want to compete with. But it's always fun for me to go back to my alma mater. And, you know, I always have the utmost respect for Boyd and for their athletes and what they do there. But it's always fun to win and to bring my teams in there and to just walk away with the win. And I love it. And at the end of the day, whether it's softball, Coach Stewart and I will hug and go on. If it's volleyball, it's just, it's fun regardless. I love going back and seeing people that I knew in my Boyd County was my past and Fairview is my present. And that's just, you know, it's fun to go see people. That's just how it is, and you know, I'm an Eagle, and I go to win every time. So,
talk to me about, you know, the district, the region. I want talk to me about some of the good players in the area. I want to know.
Oh gosh,
I know there's several, right?
Yes, absolutely. And
what about Allison Fleeman? From Boyd County.
From Boyd, she's tough, and you know, she carries that team. She's an excellent hitter. She hits from the back row. She hits from the outside. She plays great back row defense. She played all the way around for them when we played. To the opposite, I don't have very many players that play all the way around like that. Madison Humphreys, one of mine that does, and Sid Shelton, my setter. Those are the only two, but she was that girl for them. You know, she's tough. You gotta know how to handle her. We gotta have to beat Boyd and to beat our other teams in the district. We've got to have our defense tight. I do feel that our biggest opponent is Ashland in the district. In the district,
if you beat the way it is, you know, you beat Ashland, they're on the pedestal. You know, you beat Ashland, you know you're king of the.
Absolutely, Ashland. They've earned the respect. They have I don't know how many regional titles. They won our district last year. Currently, Fairview is sitting at no less than the 2nd seed. We've beat Boyd and we've beat Rose Hill. We've got Ashland coming to town later on this week, and we'll see how the 1st and 2nd seed go then. My team, I think that we contrast each other, so it should be a really good match. You know, we have really tight defense. We're hitting the ball really well right now. So I'm hoping, you know, we play together really well. I've seen Ashland play. I've talked to other coaches about their style of play. I think they have a couple big hitters, and I don't know their names, but that we're going to have to come ready to shut down and ready to take the ball from them there.
Yeah, they're.
So then me tell them to back down. And, you know,
you'd rather take that bad point. Man, you know.
I'll take it because, you know, they're called for 1 out of 4 or so. And, you know, we have excellent officials in this area, and they're not going to let anything go.
You're right.
But I want them to be aggressive at the net and continue to fight that way.
Yeah, I just, you know, this team, I think, has the tools. It's hopefully mentally, you know, they can get past that.
Yeah.
Nikki G last night made some amazing serves.
She's excellent.
Like the serves, I don't know how many she had, but I mean, I probably counted 3 or 4 at least in a row. And
Nikki, we have an excellent serve. Nikki's an excellent serve. The thing about Fairview is we're veteran. We sit with 5 seniors and 4 juniors. And so we're very, very old this year. Where the veterans are carrying us through. Our younger players are learning from them. But in the next 2 years, I'm going to graduate 9 that play a lot. They play a good amount of playing time on the court, and so we're graduating 5 this year. But out of Nikki, and then you can't not mention Sydney Shelton, who has played for Fairview volleyball since she was a 6th grader, and she's now a senior. She's the only player that we have that way. A lot of the girls have played for several years, but Sid has been here since she was a 6th grader, and she is now a senior.
Oh, crap. Sorry.
Anyways, closing out. I mean, we're going to go ahead and close out. We'll go ahead and close out. I think the girls want the locker room here.
Yeah.
But, thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
your time.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you all watch for her. She's amazing, and on both sports, softball and volleyball, and she just has these kids wanting to play ball. You know, regardless.
That's what it's about. It's about
and Jay Down signing out. And Lauren Ellis, and this interview has been brought to you by Bad Buddha Tattoo.
Where we don't work for gas money.
We don't tattoo for gas money.
Dang it!
Anyways, we're out.